Hey guys, and welcome back to another weekly fighting roundup video. If you are new around here though and you haven't yet subscribed, please do so. Like the video if you do indeed like the video, and let's get straight into it. So it's not been an overly busy week because obviously Christmas, New Year's, all of that. Happy New Year to everybody as well. But we're going to start off, get straight into the boxing news. As I say, there's not loads of news this week, but there has still been some important information. So we're starting off with Sato won by unanimous decision versus Endo. Matsu won by TKO in round 4 versus Ishikawa. Hiroka won by TKO in round 5 versus Maldonado. Sakama won by TKO in round 5 versus Gabun. Gabunilas, sorry. Satsumi won via unanimous decision versus Anaguchi to remain Japanese bantamweight champion. Inoue won via KO in round 10 versus Tapayas to become IBF, WBA Super, WBC, and WBO World Super Bantamweight Champion, and that was arguably the biggest fight of the week. It was a dominating display from Inoue. To be fair to Tapayas, I got to give him credit. He lasted in there longer than I thought he would. He put on a more resilient showing than I thought he would, but yet again, Inoue showed his class, his levels, and that he is levels above Tapayas, and he stopped him convincingly. I mean, to be fair, the shot that actually ended up stopping him wasn't really that strong of a shot, but he'd just been weighed down so much to Tapayas that he had nothing left to give, and that was all that he needed to really get him out of there in the end. And like I say, another dominating display from Inoue. I suspected that. I thought that would be the case, like many people did. Fair play to Tapayas. He probably won't retire after that, and he probably will end up fighting somewhat big fights again. But now it's to where Inoue is to go from next. Inoue is set to fight in May, so then there's options there. I mean, he's talking about possibly fighting Lewis Neri in May, and then he wants to possibly fight once more in this weight division, possibly being at Medaliev, Casemiro, another option, and then hopefully by the back end of next year or this year now, he will be fighting in the featherweight division, hopefully. I mean, he says he wants to fight 3 times, and that's the plan to fight 3 times this year. I mean, I'm completely for that. I love watching him fight every time he fights, and to watch him fight even more would be even better. And so, yeah, no, that's probably going to be the path. It's nice to have a path set out, another destructive display, like I said, and the future's most probably as bright as it has been. And 2-time undisputed champion at 2 different weight categories now. So impressive. Moving on, Gonzalez and Rosado will fight March 2nd. Silva will fight Facao February 2nd. Warren wants Dubois versus Joshua. I doubt that's really going to happen, to be honest. I think Joshua's got a different route. Herring has called out Gill. Zayas is set to fight Teixeira February 16th. Bazinga has declined the first Misfits offer to fight Weller. Rakimov will fight Nunes February 17th. Lopez is set to fight Ortiz February 8th. Pacquiao is set to fight Buakaw April 20th. That's an exhibition fight, which in my opinion is actually a good exhibition fight. I'm really excited for that, and yeah, April 20th is a good date. It was announced it would be earlier, a little bit earlier on last year, but obviously they've now had to change it, and it's now this date. But like I say, it's an exhibition which I am actually excited for, and I mean, it's going to be a 6 3-minute rounds with 2-minute breaks, so you know, it's a bit different. It's an exhibition. You know it's going to be a bit different. And, you know, I still believe it's going to be an entertaining show and entertaining fight. Garcia has called out Vargas, that Garcia being Ryan Garcia's brother, to fight on the suspected Garcia versus Haney undercard. Cruz will fight Zamaripa February 24th. Bivol has signed a deal to fight Beterbiev. And so, you know, that's all down to if Beterbiev can get through Smith. Kilic has passed away. I wanted to put that in there. Rest in peace. It's always sad when you see a boxer pass away. It wasn't due to boxing, but either way, it's always sad to see. And you know, mental health, things like that, it's difficult for everybody, and I know that's the case. And so you know, I wanted to put that in there just to kind of advertise that and show that it is a bad thing. And you know, you got to talk about these kinds of things, man. Moving on, Cunningham has retired. The USA Boxing have announced they will allow transgender athletes who transition from male to female to compete against other women. I'm not going to give too much of a kind of input on this, but I think it's going to be intriguing on who the first person is to really do well and succeed, being part of this kind of transgender male to female, and then fighting in the female fights, and who is the first person to do that, and how well they do, and what kind of feedback they get as a result of what they're doing. But you know, it's seen as something which is seen as a good thing to some and seen as a really bad thing for others. I think it definitely could be dangerous, and I don't know if I'm fully for that. But you know, at the end of the day, I suppose we're gonna have to wait and see how it does end up playing out. Goyet has called out Paul. Madrimov is set to fight January 27th. Mayweather is set to rematch Pacquiao in 2024. Pacquiao announced this yesterday in a Rising show, just in the middle of it. He just kind of came on and said he wants to fight. He's going to fight Mayweather again. Entertaining, I'm sure it will be. Bit random, but entertaining. I'm sure it'll make a lot of money as well. And so, to be fair, for both of them, Pacquiao vs Buakaw is going to make a lot of money, I'm sure. And then Mayweather vs Pacquiao is going to make loads of money, most probably. Morel wants Benavidez in 2024. Yoshimura drew versus Fujioka. Urashima won via majority decision versus Matsuno. Jury won via unanimous decision versus Gyaphiwal. I probably butchered that so badly, sorry. Satsumi won via TK in round 3 versus Ventura. Hija won via KO in round 4 versus Hatkadha. Ioka won via KO in round 7 versus Perez to remain WBA World Super Flyweight Champion, and another convincing performance from Ioka. Perez, I mean, it was a bit more resilient than I thought he'd be, and put on a bit of a better boxing display than I thought he would. But he tried to stand and trade with Ioka, and he did push him back at times, but Ioka used his good head movement, good body work, good uppercut, all the things that I said that he would use in the prediction, and I got it pretty much bang on. Both of my predictions right this week, which is always nice. And, you know, yeah, like I say, Ioka, convincing victory again. Hopefully he gets on to bigger fights now and is fighting bigger fights again now, because that was a good performance again. Norman Jr. is set to fight Bone March 2nd, and that's all the boxing news. Moving on now to the MMA, where there's been no real big fights that I'm talking about here, just a few dates, so nothing major. Ulberg versus Reyes is off. McGregor will fight Chandler June 29th. That is quite major news, to be honest. I mean, McGregor's announcement was interesting. It was quite funny, to be honest. I was a fan of the announcement. But it's at middleweight, and so that's something a bit different. I thought it would be at a higher weight because McGregor, he looks like a bigger guy now. Chandler, I don't know how he's going to be making that weight. I'm sure he'll be fine, and obviously he's got till June 29th to do so, which is still a long way away. But like I say, it's the fight which I wanted to see. I said that in my last video of the top 10 UFC fights I want to see in 2024. It's now been announced, and it's good to see. And hopefully he can now actually make it to this date and fight in the UFC again. Because I feel like the UFC is always better with him, even if he's not winning. And then the final bit of news, Edwards will fight April 13th. So he says that he's going to fight on the UFC 300 card. He hasn't announced his opponent yet, but he said that, I think he said that at the Villa football ground. But yeah, that is it for today's video. I hope you did enjoy. Like if you did, like this, subscribe if you're new, and thanks for watching.